Hey guys, it's Charlotte here, and I'm going to give you a walkthrough of my website growth tracker. So the website growth tracker, it's a Google Sheets template that I created, and at first it started out as a way that I could track all of the different stats associated with my website over time because there's a bunch of different stats that were happening in different places on different platforms, and I wanted to make sure that everything was in one spot and that not only was it in one place, but that I could also see the data and look at it in a visual way because that's how I work best. So it started out as something I was using just on my own and I found it really useful. And then I passed it on to some of my clients and my other online business friends and we tweaked it a little bit. And what you have here that I'm going to be demoing is kind of the version that we're working off of now. And I figured if it was good enough for us, it's probably going to be beneficial for you. And so I wanted to give you a run through of the website growth tracker. So this is totally something you can take inspiration from and do on your own. If you'd like to, that's completely fine, but also available, you can purchase this for a, pretty small fee. So just click the button down below if that's something you're interested in. But either way, I hope it encourages you to start really taking the growth of your website seriously so that you can start tracking all the different stats associated with your website today. All right, so now let's get started. I'm going to show you what the website growth tracker looks like now. All right, so here we go. When you first get the template, as you can see, it's a Google Sheets, and there's an intro page that will give you a bit of information about everything that's here. Then next up, the first page that we're looking at is the website traffic. So I want to start off by saying all of the numbers in here are just completely for demo purposes. These are not my actual website numbers or anything. But what we do is we look on a weekly basis to begin, and you'll put in all of the different stats that are very easy to grab just from the analytics tab on your website, or you could also pull it from Google Analytics too, if that's what you're using. But you're putting all of this in here, and it's a great way to see the percentage of change views as well. And so all of the numbers that you put in this graph are going to also be reflected here on a timeline graph. And this is really helpful because I like to see the numbers as raw data, but then I also like to see the changes visually. So that's the first off where we look at it weekly. And then if you scroll down, you've got the same thing on a monthly basis, because this is great if you want more of a bird's eye view overview of everything and all the numbers associated with your website stats. Okay, then the next tab is the social media tab. And this is where you're pulling a look at all the different stats that are coming from the different social media platforms. So as you can see, I've got Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Instagram, and YouTube on here. So you can go ahead and fill those out as is applicable for you and your website. And if you're not on any of those platforms, just don't fill out that section or remove it altogether, or feel free to rename it. For example, if you're not on Facebook but you are on Tumblr, then just go ahead and change that so that it reflects the name accordingly. And this is really easy here because on the 1st and 15th of every month is what I set the date ranges to, because that's what works well for me. I just go in and I pull the number of stats. Again, these are all just demo numbers, to make it, to fill our numbers here. And it'll also show you the percentage of change between each period. And then you'll see all of these numbers reflected in the timeline graph here as well. And then on the right-hand side of the page, this is where we've got the follower count breakdown. So again, all of the different colors that you have on the left-hand side are reflected automatically into this timeline graph that also goes from the 1st and 15th of every month. And in it, you can see where most of your audience is on which social media platform. And it's also a really cool way to see the changes in your audience. So let's say, for example, you start really focusing a lot on YouTube and making a bunch of really good videos, and you'll see that your audience or number of subscribers grows there. Or on the flip side, maybe you start getting really into Pinterest and that's driving a lot of traffic to your website, then you'll see over time as those numbers change on your Pinterest weight. So super cool way to see how all of that social media presence that you have and that you're growing is translating over to website traffic. Okay, next up, we've got the email list. And I'm sure you've heard that if any website exists, it needs to have an email list, whether it's a business website, personal blog, anything like that. Email list is key. So to begin here, we first are going to just look at the number of email subscribers that you have on the 1st of every month. So you'll see, how many subscribers you have and then the number of new subscribers as well. And then it'll automatically pull a formula that shows you the percentage of change from this month to the next, or previous month, sorry. And then on this right-hand side, you've got a visual timeline graph too, because, obviously you want to see your growth changing. And then further down, you can track it as well on the 1st and 15th of every month for your number of email subscribers too. And then that will translate into the timeline graph over here. And so this is between the social media stats and the email list, you notice that they both pulled on the 1st and the 15th of every month. And I just set a recurring calendar reminder for myself so that on the 1st and 15th I get notified, and I know that it takes me only like 5 minutes tops to go in, pull those numbers, and then plunk them directly here into this growth tracker spreadsheet. All right, next up, this is where things get a little bit more interesting. This is where we've got the revenue tab. So whether you offer like a service or a product, you're gonna wanna track all of those different things in here. And you might have seen other similar spreadsheets or trackers like this, because it's so important to see your revenue, where it's coming in at different times of the month or of the year, and how any launches or real big pushes or campaigns you have affect your bottom line. So again, reminder, these are just totally imaginary numbers. Like this is, you can go ahead and adjust it according to what you have and change the names in your offering. But basically, we are going to look up at the top with the products or services, and you can go ahead and name them, like this one example, website growth tracker, or instead of product 2 or 3, you can name it whatever your product or service is. Then you would go ahead, put in the price for it, and then the number that you would like to sell, your goal number of sales during each quarter. So Q3 and Q4, and then it'll automatically pull the total, as well as what amount of money you can expect to receive during that quarter. So that's the first look. And then it gives another further breakdown for Q3 and Q4 for 2017. So again, whatever you have named your products or services, you can go ahead and change that there. And then you can really see how, where the money is coming in each different month. So for example, for product 1 and for product 2 in Q3 and 4, you're gonna be selling the same amount every single month within that period. So you see that the numbers are all of the same, and it's going to be really consistent income for each month in that quarter. But then if we go down to Q4, this is where things switch up a little bit. So as you can see, November has a much higher amount of money projected, and that's because we are going to be selling a lot more, in this example, of product 3 in November. So normally you would sell about 4, but you're really going to be pushing this product and having a big launch or a big campaign, so you want to sell 22. And then look at how much that affects the number in the bottom line. You're going to be making a lot more money during that 1 month, and that's a really good way to see it visually and just see where the money is going to be coming in. So yeah, it's really great. And all of this as well, it's formulas that will all come in place here, and, just pull all the numbers. So you don't need to do any math at all. It's all taken care of for you. Okay, so that's a great way to see the revenue. And now let's flip over to the next tab, which is your media mentions. And so media mentions are a huge part of your website growth, because if you're getting mentions on different websites or different media outlets, press coverage, interviews, maybe you're on a webinar, maybe someone invited you to be a guest on their podcast or featured in an interview on their blog, anything like that, all of those mentions and, media coverage that you're getting for your website are going to send traffic back to your site. So that's huge. So this is why I have a whole page specifically for media mentions. And in this, you're going to put in things like the date, the publication, the specific title of whether it's the blog post or the interview or podcast, whatever, and then as well the link too. And then this is where you can also see whether it was promoted on social media, like your own or somebody else's. But then also this is an important tab here, whether it's an email list opt-in. So that's for your own email newsletter list, and you want to see whether or not that traffic that you're getting, those media mentions, whether it can convert to your own email list. And that's huge because the money is in the email list, so you want to be getting as many new email list opt-ins as possible. So making sure that that's a field or a feature with your media coverage is a great way to track the growth of your website. And then there's also a section for notes, so you can say like anything specific about that particular media mention, like, you know, whether it was particularly valuable, whether it brought in the right kind of traffic, whether any of those media mentions then converted, things like that. All right, then another tab we have next is the affiliates program. So this is really a great way to keep track of the affiliate programs that your website participates in. So again, like whether you are a personal blog or a business website, or, you know, it's like any type of website, you might be using an affiliate program. And that could be just as simple as like Amazon affiliates, or it could be something a lot more involved, requiring work on your part. Like there's so many different available options for affiliate programs. So in this section, this is where you put all the info about those affiliate programs that you're a part of. So it's pretty self-explanatory here, but you would just fill it out accordingly. And then this is where you scroll down and we have another one of those kind of like timeline and money projections, because I love seeing the money. I love seeing where the money's coming in, where it's happening, when, and affiliates are a great way to see that cash represented. So, you know, you go ahead and you would name it, and then as well figure out what like price you're getting for each program or each like service or product that you're recommending or things. And then like you'll see the number of commissions and then what the payout is according to each commission that you're going to get. And again, you track it at the top just on like Q3, Q4, and then like what the total is. And these are all projected. And then you can go in and really drill into the breakdown for each month within that quarter. So whether it's July, August, September for Q3, or October, November, December for Q4. And again, you know, you'll see where the different commission numbers are, and you know, if you have any like you know, for affiliate 2, let's say, you know, you're going to be doing more, you're projecting that you're going to have more of those commissions, so it means more money than in previous months. And maybe that's because you have a launch that you're planning, or, you know, some media coverage that you want to ramp up for, or like a special, you know, video tutorial or anything like that for the particular affiliate. But you can see how that affects the numbers. So really good way to track the money coming in for your different affiliate programs and just kind of get it running. All right, so now I'm gonna just expand back up a little bit. Okay, so that is a look at my website growth tracker. And as you can see, there's a ton of different things that you want to keep track of when it comes to your website. So it's not just like the straight up numbers and statistics related to your website. It's so much more. It's also social media, your products and services, your affiliates, your media mentions. All of that is going to give you a much better like full view of how your website is performing and how it's growing over time. So I hope you use, whether it's this particular website growth tracker or something similar that, you know, you feel inspired to create on your own. Either way, I hope it encourages you to actually start tracking the growth and the data behind your website and all related fields that, you know, fall into tracking the growth of your website. So if you do have any questions, let me know, but otherwise, you're more than welcome to either feel inspired to create your own website growth tracker or purchase this particular one, which is available just at the link download. And it's quite a reasonable price, so hopefully it helps you out just as much as it helped me and my friends and my clients out. So any questions, let me know, and thank you so much for watching, and I hope this helps you out. Bye now!